I'm gonna show to you, my fellow chessers, the chess game between Wesley and Titas Stremavicius in FIDE World Cup 2025, round 2, game number 2. Hello, my fellow chessers. We're back at it again with another video, my fellow chessers. So let's begin on d4, d5. So queen's pawn opening, my fellow chessers. Knight f3, knight f6, c4, e6, knight c3, bishop e7, c takes d5, e takes d5, bishop f4, my fellow chessers. So this is queen's gambit decline, exchange variation, my fellow chessers. All right. c6, preventing the knight on b5, my fellow chessers. All right. h3, preventing the bishop on g4, my fellow chessers. All right. Queen b6, attacking the pawn on b2, my fellow chessers. Queen c2, defending the pawn on b2, my fellow chessers. g6, preferring for bishop f4, my f5, my fellow chessers, to attack the queen, my fellow chessers, something like that. e3, bishop f5, attacking the queen on c2, my fellow chessers. Queen c1, castle's king side. g4, attacking the bishop on f5, my fellow chessers. All right. Bishop e2, attacking the bishop e4. All right, attacking the knight on f3. At the same time, pinning the rook on h1, h1. Bishop e2, defending the pawn, the knight on f3. Knight bd7, development, my fellow chessers. Castle's king side and preferring for knight to d2, trapping the bishop on e4. So that Wesley saw take the knight on f3, bishop takes f3, bishop takes f3, queen b6, queen c2, knight e8, wow, e4, d takes e4, bishop takes e4, knight f6 or knight d f6, my fellow chessers, attacking the bishop on e4. Rook a g1, my fellow chessers. Knight c7, preferring for bishop, knight on e6, something like that. Knight c7, bishop g2, queen d7, queen b3, attacking the pawn on b7, my fellow chessers. All right. Knight d or knight c d5, attacking the bishop on f4. At the same time, the knight on c3, my fellow chessers. Bishop e6, bishop e5, rook f e8, my fellow chessers. Blunder of Wesley. So the best continuation on this position based on computer engine, my fellow chessers, is rook a c8, rook a c8, or rook a g8, my fellow chessers, my fellow, or h6, my fellow chessers. All right. But Wesley moved the rook f e8, g5, attacking the knight on f6, my fellow chessers. All right. Knight takes c3. Wow. Ooh. G takes f6. Knight takes g1. Ooh. F takes e7. Knight takes f2, my fellow chessers. Bishop f6. Defending the pawn on e7, my fellow chessers. Rook takes e7. Bishop takes e7. Queen takes e7. Rook takes f2, as you can see. One bishop up, off white in this position, my fellow chessers. All right. One bishop up. Rook a d1 or rook g8, rook d8, my fellow chessers. g5. C takes g5. Bishop takes g5. Queen g5, attacking the king on g1. Bishop g2. Wow. Rook D7 defending the pawn on B7 at the same time defending the pawn on F7, my fellow contestants. Queen C3, preferring for Rook C, Queen C8, something like that, Queen C3. So Queen to E7, Rook to F1, B7, Rook to E1, Queen to D8, Queen to E5. Wow. Rook G1, challenging the rook, my fellow chessers. Rook takes G1, Queen takes G1, King H2. Wow, H5, A3, H4. Queen D8 or Queen E8, Queen E8, my fellow chessers sa akin da, King on G8. King G7. Queen E3. Wow. Okay. King to G8. Queen F2. Queen to D8, my fellow chessers. Alright. King to G2. G1. Queen to G5. Queen to D4. Queen to G3. King to F1. King to H7. Queen to C3. Challenging the queen on G3, my fellow chessers. Queen to G5. Bishop to C6, my fellow chessers. Queen to E7. Bishop to F3. Bishop to F3. Queen to D6. Bishop to E2. Queen to F5, attacking the king on F1. King to E1. F5, as the star. King to D1. King H7. Queen to D2, my fellow chessers. And King to G5. Bishop to B5. Mistake of Titas. The best consideration on this position based on computer engine is Queen to D8 or Queen to C3 or Queen to D3, my fellow chessers. Alright, so let's continue the real game, my fellow chessers, which is Bishop to B5. Queen takes D2. Wow. King takes D2. King to F4. Bishop to E8. G5. Bishop to D7. G4. H takes G4. F takes G4. King to E2. G3. Bishop C6. Bishop C6, King to E5. As you can see, the evaluation bar here, draw my fellow chessers or equal my fellow chessers. Alright. H3 mistake of assist of the best continuation in this position is King to D6 or King to F5 or King to E6, my fellow chessers. Alright, but so let's continue the real game, which is H3, Bishop D7, H2. Wow. Bishop C6. Good move. King to D6, my fellow chessers. Bishop G2. King to C5. B3. A5. King D3. B5. Bishop F3. King to D6. King G4. King E6. Bishop E4. King F6. King to G5. King to G5, King to E5, King to G4, Bishop to G2, King G5, A4 mistake of Titas. My fellow chessers, the best continuation in this position, my fellow chessers is to maintain the winning position is Bishop H1 or King to E4 or Bishop F3, my fellow chessers. But Titas move A4, B4, King to E4. As you can see, the evaluation bar here is equal my fellow chessers. Alright, our draw is my fellow chessers. King to G4 and after Queen to G4, Wesley so resigns the game. What? Anyway, that's part of the game, my fellow chessers. That's part of the game. As you can see, the evaluation bar here is equal my fellow chessers based on computer engine. Why? Because, like for example, we have to choose what if we have to choose go here, and like for example, we have to go here, example here. Okay, like for example here. The best continuation in this position is H1 Queen, my fellow chessers. And like for example takes, and we have King H3. We have go here, and we have king h2, and we have bishop g2 and king g1. And if you take this, my fellow chessers, this is a stalemate, my fellow chessers. All right. But like for example, what if we go here? All right, for example, like that. Black is winning, my fellow chessers, as you can see here. G2 takes, takes. Okay, king go here, and we have king f1. Okay, king to d2. For example, here, here. As you can see, Black is winning my fellow chessers, but that's part of the game. My fellow chessers, Wesley thought that he's losing on this position. My fellow chessers. That's why after the game of after move king to g4, Wesley saw resign the game. My fellow chessers. That's part of the game. My fellow chessers. Even the super grandmaster, my fellow catchers, is making a mistake, my fellow catchers. All right, so like, comment, and subscribe, my fellow catchers here, Chessers TV official team, my fellow catchers, and to God be all the glory. Praise Lord Jesus Christ.